The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Metro Manila mayors are urging community pantry organizers to coordinate with LGUs first to ensure proper observance of health protocols. The Metro Manila Council released a resolution to safeguard the health of all who will go to community pantries. The council also stressed the prohibition against social gathering and observance of social distancing. The council strongly urges all organizers to have prior coordination of their activities with the concerned LGUs to ensure the practice of COVID-19 protocols. Barangay Holy Spirit Chairman Felicito Valmusina says there should have been an intervention in Angel Locsin's community pantry when thousands of people started to flock the area. Ryan Ang with the story.
Barangay Holy Spirit Chairman met with law enforcement agencies to assess if there was negligence in the community pantry of actress Angel Locsin. Chairman Felicito Valmusina said there should have been an earlier intervention on the side of Angel Locsin when they saw thousands of people lining up, stressing that there were limited supplies and not everyone will be accommodated. He added that she should have called their attention or even asked the authorities to tell the people to go home because they cannot be accommodated anymore as their supplies are limited to those who have stubs.
Sabihan ko na ang pulis, sabihan ko na ang tanod, sabihan ko ang task force disiplina, sabihan ko DPOS na pakisabi nyo sa mga tao, 300 lang ho ang kaya ko ipamigay, magsiuwi na kayo, mapapagod lang kayo, mahihirapan lang kayo, magugutom pa kayo. So kung nag-decide si Madam Angel nung alas 7 ng umaga, hindi na nagtagal, hindi na naghirap at walang namatay. Pero wala po siyang ginawang anumang salita.
Valmusina also said that people lined up not because of hunger but because they were invited by a celebrity to go. The barangay chairman said that Angel should not have invited anyone as people from different areas and provinces will flock the area.
Yung sasabihin ni Angel na kaya pumunta doon ng tao ay dahil sa gutom at hirap, hindi. Kaya pumunta ang tao, pinapunta niya. So sino may kasalanan? Yung kanyang pagpo-post na yan, na anyone is welcome.
Valmusina added that more than 100 persons still lined up yesterday morning, but they asked them to go home. As of now, Mang Rolando's COVID-19 test has come back negative. Mang Rolando's family has been allowed to hold a 2-day wake for their patriarch, and the barangay promised to help organize the wake in any way possible. For News 5, Ryan Ang, we are One News.
But liability in the legal sense must always be within the ambit of law. That's the key takeaway from the incident at Angel Locsin's community pantry, according to FEU Law Dean Mel Santamaria. In an interview with One News Now, Dean Santamaria says doing good deeds like organizing a community pantry must come with vigilance and a proactive take on things that could go possibly wrong. But he adds that imposing liability should not be stretched to fit one's objective.
To be good, you must still be good. Do what you have to do to help our fellow men. But you also have to safeguard people coming in, thinking of all the things that might probably happen. And if you are to impose liability on a person, be sure that the liability falls within the ambit of the revised penal code or the civil code. In short, in talking about suing people, we are not above the law. There is a law which should be considered, and look at that law, see if the situation is within the law, then file if it is. But if it's not, don't stretch it.
OCTA research member Professor Guido David says the imposition of an enhanced community quarantine in NCR Plus is now unlikely. Speaking to One News Now, David said that ECQ is out of the question for the month of May due to improving COVID-19 situation in these areas. David adds that the government could opt to extend the MECQ or even loosen quarantine restrictions, but not for high-risk activities.
For example, indoor dining should probably not be allowed yet because of the airborne transmissibility of the virus. But we can probably increase capacity a little bit in some establishments, for example, from 10 to 20%. I mean, those are possible. We're not necessarily recommending those, but if the government decides to, for example, move to GCQ, it should do so very gradually, not rush things, because we might lose the gains that we made over the past few weeks.
An initial batch of 15,000 doses of Sputnik V vaccines will arrive in the Philippines today. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. said that the first shipment from Russia's Gamaleya will be used in a simulation activity by the Taguig local government. The first batch will be followed by another 480,000 doses on April 29, with 500,000 more doses of China's Sinovac vaccines. However, the health department said not all LGUs may receive the Sputnik V jabs due to its stringent storage requirements. Working from home is a facet of the new normal that seems to work pretty well considering the circumstances. But with this new setup comes the obvious consequence of overworking. So how do we know when enough is enough? Let's listen in.
Finally, one more thought. Can Zoom be hazardous to your health? Working from home. A year ago, most of us didn't really think much about it. But 13 months ago, we all packed up our things and we left the office. And we went off to work from our homes, never thinking that it might last for over a year. So now we've spent a year figuring it all out. The tech, the kids learning from home, finding some place to do our work, and, oh yes, learning how to use Zoom or Skype or whatever. At first, it was a rush, how much we could get accomplished. Experts say we'll probably never go fully back to the way we were.
You can save people commute time. You have better access to talent because you're solving what people want in their personal life. It's actually going to result in a better outcome.
Coming out of this crisis, perhaps, or this pandemic, we're all going to recognize the importance of flexibility. There is real reasons why people may want to work from home.
But now it's starting to dawn on us that there's another side to this working from home business. Sure, it's convenient to walk down the hall or around the corner, but it's equally convenient for everyone else to reach out and get us any time of day or night, and that includes, goodness knows, on the weekends. Which takes us to that health issue and the HSBC program manager working from home, who on a Sunday afternoon felt tightness in his chest and some difficulty breathing. Yes, he was having a heart attack. And as Johnny Frostick laid out in a LinkedIn post that's been liked over 200,000 times, his first thoughts weren't about himself or about his family. He told Bloomberg News he was worried about missing a meeting with his manager coming up the next day. In his words, this isn't convenient. Let's be clear, we all had the ability to work too much without the help of Zoom. And Mr. Frostick is the first to admit he needs to lose a bit of weight. But as we go forward into this new world, maybe we should think about whether it may be a bit too easy to work anytime and anywhere. When Mr. Frostick listed his new priorities in his LinkedIn post, the first was, I'm not spending all day on Zoom anymore. Sound like someone you know?
Now, those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 2:15 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.